Hello everyone, in this video we're going to discuss polynomial properties using leading coefficient and degree. So a polynomial is in this form where n is just an integer and a sub n is all the a's are just real numbers. Okay, so some examples are down here like x squared plus 5x, 7x, minus 6x, 7, all these are polynomial examples. Okay, and so we need to know how to identify the leading coefficient and the degree of the polynomial. So the leading coefficient is just this a sub n term, which is the coefficient on the largest degree, which is n. Okay, so it's the largest x to the n, it's the largest value that x is raised to, is the degree of the polynomial. Okay, so let's look down at these examples and identify those. So in this case, we have an x squared term and an x term. So x squared is the largest degree, so the degree is just going to be equal to 2, and the leading coefficient is this coefficient on the x squared. And the leading coefficient on the x squared is just a 1. Okay, and so for g of x, we look through here, we see we have an x term, we have an x to the 7th, and we have a constant term. And so this time it's not in order, because the order doesn't matter. You can move around plus and minus around. So in this case, the second term is the largest, x to the 7th, so our degree is going to be 7. And our leading coefficient, we have to look at the coefficient on the x to the 7th, and it's minus 6 x to the 7th, so it's going to be a negative 6 as the leading coefficient. Okay, and then one last example, we just have a constant term and an x squared, so our degree is going to be 2. And our leading coefficient in this case is just negative x squared, so it's going to be just a negative 1. Okay, now let's talk about end behavior of a graph. So the end behavior is just what happens to the function when x goes to negative infinity and when x goes to positive infinity. So let's look at x going to positive infinity first. So as x gets larger and larger, we go this way. Where is the function going? Well, we'll see here the function is going up. And so as x goes to positive infinity, the function goes up. And there's a few ways we can write this. We can first just say as x goes to infinity, what is the function doing? In this case, we're calling it f of x, and it goes to infinity because it's going upwards in this example. We can also using limit notation. So limit notation, you just write a limit here, and we say where is x going. So in this case, we're looking at the end behavior in the positive direction. So we're looking at positive infinity, and then we want to know the limit of f of x as x is going to positive infinity, and what does that equal? Well, in this case, we just said it goes to infinity. Okay, and now let's see x going to negative infinity. Okay, in this case, we see the function is going down. It's going to negative infinity. So again, we can write this in two ways. As x goes to negative infinity, where is the function going? Well, the function is going to negative infinity. Or again, we can write this limit notation where we have the limit as x approaches negative infinity of f of x. Where is this function going? It's going to negative infinity. So now we can put these two things together. We can use the degree and the leading coefficient to determine the end behavior of a graph without even needing to draw any graph or anything, and only needing that leading coefficient term. Okay? So let's just go through all possible cases and see what we get. So for an even degree and a positive leading coefficient, how do we know what our end behavior is going to look like? Well, we can look at a very simple example. A simple example would be something like x squared, or positive x squared. We know that it has a positive leading coefficient and it's a degree that's even because it's 2, and we know it looks like a parabola like this. And so just by drawing this simple example, we can see as x goes to negative infinity, this function of x, we'll call it f of x, goes to infinity because we see it's going up as x goes to negative infinity. And the same thing when x goes to positive infinity, it's also going up. So when we have an even degree, we'll see that this end behavior is the same for negative and positive infinity. So now let's look at an even degree with a negative leading coefficient. So a simple example of this would be negative x squared. And so now it just flips the parabola over. So now we can see if you're going to negative or positive infinity, the function is going to negative infinity. So in both of these cases, when x goes to negative infinity, f of x is going to negative infinity. And when x is going to infinity, f of x is also going to negative infinity. Okay? So now let's think about an odd degree with a positive leading coefficient. Now the simplest example here would just be x. The graph of f of x equals x is just a line that looks like this, right? So we can see in this case, when x is going to negative infinity, which would be like going this way, this function is going down. So we see that the function of x, as x goes to negative infinity, is going to negative infinity. And when it goes to positive infinity, since this is sloping upwards, it's going to positive infinity. So when x goes to infinity, f of x is also going to infinity. Okay, and we see that in this case, the end behaviors are different, and they will be different when we have an odd degree polynomial. Okay, and then finally, a negative leading coefficient on odd degree, we can look at negative x, which just flips it to going like this. So now, when x goes to negative infinity, the function is going to positive infinity, and when x is going to infinity, the function is going to negative infinity. Okay, now let's determine the end behavior of these three examples using what we just learned. Okay, so in this case, we see we have a degree of 5 and a leading coefficient of 5. That's a positive. Okay, so we have a positive 5, or a positive leading coefficient, and an odd term. So we can know that the function is going to go and trend in this way. And just drawing this simple example of an odd degree polynomial, we can see that we can write our limits out. And obviously it won't be a straight line. It may look something, like curvy like this, but the end behaviors are going to follow the same trend of a line. Okay, so we can now write these using our limit forms and look at negative infinity of f of x and look at the limit of x as it goes to positive infinity. Okay, and so in this case, we see that when x goes to negative infinity, it also goes to negative infinity. And when x goes to positive infinity, the function is going to positive infinity. Okay, so now let's do it for the next one. We see we have a even degree polynomial, but it's negative. So let's draw an example of that. It'll look something like this. And again, we see our end behavior already. We don't even need to know exactly what this looks like. Okay, so I just copy these over so I don't have to keep writing it. So we see when x goes to negative infinity or x goes to positive infinity, in both cases the function is going to go to negative infinity. Okay, and then this last example, we can see that the highest degree is 3 and it's negative. So we have a negative odd polynomial. So we can draw our kind of example trend that we know it's going to follow like this. And now we can easily look at our end behavior. We see when x goes in the negative direction, it's getting larger, so it's going to go to positive infinity. And when x goes to positive infinity, it goes to negative infinity, the function. Okay, now let's talk about extrema. So we have this extrema of relative maximum minimums and also absolute maximum minimums. And so what this means is a local maximum is just any time where a function switches from increasing degree to decreasing. So if a function is increasing and then it starts decreasing, we have this maximum here, and we call that a local maximum. Okay, and if it's functions from decreasing to increasing, we have this local minimum. Okay, and this absolute maximum or absolute minimum is just the largest output or the smallest output. So sometimes the local maximum will also be a global maximum. So if we have the case of like this, in this case we have this maximum right here. It's a local max and a global max. Okay, but in an example like this, we have a local maximum and minimum, but they're not global because there's other values that are larger and smaller than these maximums. So it's not the total or the most largest output out of the entire graph. So in this case, there is no global extrema for this graph, but this side there is. Okay, so let's look at an example labeling extremas here. Okay, so we see we have this graph and we want to label where these maximum minimums are. So first, we see these two peaks. This is decreasing, it has a point, and then it starts increasing, and then it starts decreasing again. So we have a local minimum right here. And so a local minimum, we can say this is at around, we'll just estimate the points, like negative 1.2 or something. And then in the y direction, it's like negative 0.8 or so. Okay, and then we have a local maximum at around, we'll say 1.2, and 0.8. Okay, but are any of these global maximums or absolute maximums? And no, they're not, because we can see over here there's a point and it's larger than this max, and there's a point that's lower down here. But notice this graph has an endpoint. So we always have to check our endpoints, because the endpoints could give us other local or global maximums or minimums. And we see right here, there's a point. We have to check our endpoint when we're given endpoint. So this is also going to be a local maximum, because there's nothing larger on either side. Even though it's not switching from increasing to decreasing, there's nothing larger that's less than it, because the function doesn't exist over there. And so there will be a maximum here. So there's another local max, and that's at, let's say, around negative 2.5 to like 2.6 in the y. So these are points. Okay? But this is also going to be a global max, because we see there's no values above here that are going to ever be larger than this point. This is the largest point anywhere on the graph. Okay? So our absolute max will be this point right here of negative 2.5 comma 2.6. Okay, and there will always only be either one or no absolute extrema. So in this case, there is no absolute minimum, because this function keeps decreasing all the way into infinity, so it never reaches the lowest value. So we can just say there's no absolute minimum. Okay, the last thing we're going to look at is put it all together, and how can we use the polynomial form to guarantee if there's a global max or min or not, by just looking at it without doing any graphing or anything like that. And the way we can use that is we can use our end behavior and what the function looks like to determine if there will be a global max or not. So let's do this first example. We see that we have a leading coefficient of positive 5 and a degree of 2. That's the largest degree. So we know that this function is going to look something like this. So will we have global extrema? Yes, we will. Right? We will have a point down here where it's the lowest value of the function. So just by knowing what the form of the function looks like, we can say there's going to be a global minimum. But there's not going to be a global maximum, because we see that it goes to infinity on both of these sides. Okay, now let's look at this next example here. We see that the highest degree is 7, so that's the degree of the polynomial, and we have a negative 3, so a negative leading coefficient. And so it's an odd degree, and it's negative, so we know the function is going to look something like this. So will there be a global extrema here? Well, if we think about it, how could we have a greatest value or a least value if at the end of the graph it goes to infinity in the negative direction and the positive direction? Negative as x goes to infinity and positive as x goes to negative infinity. So there will be no global extrema. Okay? So there is no global extrema on this graph. Now let's look at this next one. The largest degree here is 1, because it's just x, and it's a positive. So in this case, it's literally just a line looking like this. Same as the last one, there's not going to be any global extrema here, because there's no point where it'll hit a max or minimum value and never go past it, so no extrema. Okay, in this last example, we see that this leading coefficient is negative 3, and we have a or a even degree. Okay, and so it's the largest one, so we don't have to even worry about all these other terms here. We only care about the greatest degree, which is 8. And so we see it's going to be looking like this, because it's negative and it's even. So we can just think of negative x squared. What does it look like? Something like this, right? And so we see that there will be a point right here. There's going to be some point where we have a global maximum, because of this even degree polynomial. We know that the end behaviors are going to go to negative infinity on both sides, so there must be some point where it reaches a global maximum. And this function probably doesn't look like just a simple parabola. Since it has all these other terms, it's probably, moving around a bunch. But at the end behavior, we know it goes down, so there's going to be some point where there's a maximum. And there won't be a global minimum, but there could be local minimums. But we're only looking for global extrema in this case. Okay? So hopefully that was helpful identifying these properties of polynomials using the degree and leading coefficient. Leave your questions down below, and thanks for watching.